Hey, Diane Foon and I, part 2 of talking about how we can get more pressure, develop a more stable pulling position when we deadlift or pull something up off the ground. Remember, this is just surrogate for actually lifting real things up in life, right? Now, there's a couple strategies we see that are very effective. One is we see something that looks like the zombie, right? And where people are breathing at the top. And the reason they're in this position, and watch what happens when Diane, she's taking the internal rotation load out of her back, out of her shoulders. She comes into this mid-range position, which allows her to get her thoracic spine out of a rounded position. A lot of our athletes are just stiff here, so suddenly they can be in a more mid-range position in this shape. Eric Cressy we used to call this the Cressy salute. Remember that? Well, that's so old school.
Right.
You're welcome, Eric. But in this position, Diane is capable of moving a ton of air in. Now, the reason this matters is that part of the stabilization strategy of the back, remember the back is a radial contractile field. We have all of this musculature, all of these structures, all of the fascia compressing towards the spine to create high pressure to maintain the integrity and length of the tube. That's what it's about. And putting air in there is a fluid which allows us to create even more pressure around that. So one of the ways that we can make ourselves more effective and stiffen the trunk when it's time is to get more air into the system. And if you don't believe me, try doing a 1-rep max deadlift on an exhale. You'll see that you feel like an empty sock puppet.
Right.
A sad sock puppet.
Sad
Hashtag
rainbow.
Sad rainbow, right? I want to be a pumped up rainbow. Okay, so what happens then is we have choices that we can be conscious of. Now, the breath from the top does a couple things for Diane. It allows her to take a lot of the strain and stresses out of the spine. So instead of loading and having a whole bunch of competing forces on the spine, Diane is able to achieve a really excellent organized position that she can then simplify and hinge down. So watch what happens in her setup when she takes this breath from the top. She gets organized, she can get a big pressurization, and then notice what she loads first. She takes a big breath and loads the hips and hamstrings. Boom, that gets loaded first, and then she uses the knees to adjust for position and tension. But this system really hasn't changed from the top. And so what's nice about this, go ahead and come back up, is that this means that she has a chance of sort of taking a moment and getting hyper-optimized, getting organized, and in this really good mid-range position where she has a ton of access to her physiology. You'll see that the gymnasts in the Olympics, even before when they're on the balance beam, will pause for a second and then get organized, then they flip, right? So you'll see them pause in these moments, kind of claim a better, more organized shape, then they jump out of that shape. We're doing the same thing here. You'll see this across a lot of platforms. Athletes will take a minute to reclaim a mid-range position or an organized position so that they can do something dynamic. Okay, so what we're trying to do is simplify the system. Now, if I have Diane just hinge down, flex down, just get to the bottom, just round everything down. Go ahead and even go butt to ankle, right? Round your back. Now, go ahead and grab that bar, take a big breath here. Right? There's a lot of competing forces on the spine here. Can you even pressurize effectively there?
Nope.
So this is an allegory for when we start to add complexity to the system, we're going to start to see that it may implicate how well she can pressurize in the bottom. So in this position, I'm going to be like, grab the bar, Diane, and just unkink yourself, unjenga yourself into a good position. Go ahead. Right? And then go ahead and get into a deadlift starter position there. That bottom up. Look, you may have to lift something up from the bottom like a stretcher in a helicopter. This is some of the work we've done. What we're looking for is that if she has good range of motion, normative range of motion, and she's skilled, she can unjenga herself into this position and be here pretty effectively, right? But what we're doing, go ahead and stand back up. This is a lot simpler to get organized at the top where there are not a whole bunch of competing forces. She can get organized and sequenced, she can pressurize and then load that down. That is going to be a better strategy than go ahead and round over with your legs high and then grab the bar and now unjenga yourself and try to get into a flat position. So in this shape, what we will see time and time again is that our athletes performing complex movements will start from a slightly different position. So their foot pressure will be a bit different, their shoulder position is a little bit different, their back position is a little bit different. hip is a little bit higher, which means if I'm trying to reproduce a highly complex skill, I'm adding a lot of variability to that skill, which adds difficulty, not when I'm deadlifting, but when I start to go fast and start, perturbating the system with speed, right? And if I'm just grinding, I might be able to get stable and grind. Mm-hmm. But again, what we're trying to do is say, hey, how do we simplify this complex system? You're not going to overload the system. You're always coming from a different position, so don't give me that repetition without repetition nonsense, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't teach technique to anyone in any sport because you would have a pattern overload. We're trying to get into the best shape we can to have the best organized position we can. That's why all the Olympic lifters look the same in all their lifts. They just keep adding load in the same. So if you're golf swing, we want you to address the ball the same way. So here at the top of the lift, this is a long way of saying, if this strategy works for you and you have the technique to be able to get down from the top down deadlift, A, you can get organized and more mid-range. 2, you can pressurize. 3, you can reduce movement variability, which means you're more likely to have better functionality and not make mistakes, which leads to more successful lifts.
Great.
See you next time.